Happy Thursday and welcome back to the You Good Podcast, the podcast where oversharing is encouraged and thoughts get real. I'm your host, C-Rod, joined always by my co-host, Nick. We had a full episode recorded this week. Guests, great conversation, everything. Then we got into editing and realized we didn't have it. So instead of forcing something or trying to recreate a moment that already passed, we are doing what you have to do sometimes. We are pivoting. This past weekend, we had our fantasy baseball draft, year 13 of a league that has turned into way more than just a game. So we'll drop the heaviness and we will talk fantasy baseball today. If you've never done this before, you probably think it's just picking players, but it is not. It's 6 hours of pressure, chaos, decision making, and mental endurance, all for a season that will test you every single day. Welcome to the new episode 41. 6 hours, 90 seconds, one pick. Let's get into it.
No, I don't wanna live where I always feel broken. I just wanna live with a heart wide open. I don't ever wanna feel fear anymore. No.
So here we are back at the recording studio for the second time this week, Nick. And I just want to say I am back again in my Deltona baseball jersey.
I am not in the same shirt I was wearing the other day.
I did not want this opportunity to go unwasted. I still fit into my high school baseball jersey. We had a guest on who was from high school, and that was kind of the connection that we were talking through. But unfortunately, we started recording. I guess before we jump into this, I do want to say real quick, last episode we recorded with Andrew Smith, Big Red, a Deltona High alumni. We were genuinely excited about that one. We got about 90 minutes into a really solid conversation and had some technical issues that we did not catch at the moment, right? It was something that was on the guest side, not something we had saw, and not something he knew to tell us. So there's no fault to go around, but we weren't able to use that episode. It's on us, not on him. We're definitely going to run it back because, there was a lot of conversation worth hearing. But with that kind of background out of the way, here's the pivot, right? And that is where Deltona baseball jersey comes in because now we get to talk about something light, which we both love, which is fantasy baseball.
Yes, sir. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so we'll get him back on, but for now we have to pivot, and it was a very chaotic past weekend, right? It was so good to have you here, as well as some of our guests. Dugas was there from one of our episodes. Who else has been on? I guess nobody, because Craig wasn't there.
Craig wasn't there, but he was in spirit.
CJ, you're
nobody else has been.
Nobody else, right? It's just from those two.
Yeah,
well,
just been
so
Dugas.
just Dugan, me, you, and Dugas. But we had 7 guys at the house out of a 12-man league. We had one guy drafting from an airplane, and then a few of them in and out from the pool, the house. It was
one was driving.
One was driving with his kids not tied down.
Yeah.
Not tied down. Not buckled down.
Not tied down. Buckle your kids up. Jeez. Ozzy had me rolling for sure.
With what?
With Chusett. When he saw Chusett's kids, he's like, buckle your kids up.
Yes. And for clarification, his car was parked, but we did not know that. They were just coming from the grocery store, and he calls us to make his pick, and his kids are just running around in the back seat of the car. And then the next time he calls, he's like driving, and we're like, we hope they're buckled in this time. But
it was great.
Whatever we can do to make it happen, and honestly, what happened with last, the episode that we just talked about not working and this recording, it's all kind of too fitting because not only is life hectic, but fantasy baseball is basically one long adjustment anyway, whether it's draft day, whether it's during the season, whether it's the playoffs if you make it, but nothing goes how you plan, right? from day one, from the draft.
No, yeah, absolutely not. You're in there, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy, then this guy, and then right before you pick, your pick goes away, and you have to completely pivot and you want to hit your head against the wall.
Yes, and you only have about 90 seconds to hit your head against the wall and get back to it and make that pick before people are yelling at you.
Yeah, to
Specific
hurry up.
specifically
Specific
making
to,
very loud, annoying alarm sounds continuously.
yeah, I don't know who that person was. That guy sounds like an asshole.
It's like, what's the movie? Dumb and Dumber, right? Want to hear the most annoying sound in the
Yeah.
world? Oh God. But I think the best part about having you guys local, you and CJ and Fazio, was you were able to come out the night before, and we had an amazing day at the beach, St. Pete Beach. Uh, visit my favorite, if you're a listener of the show or you know me, my favorite beach bar in St. Pete is called the Undertow. It's one of the only bikini bars in St. Pete. If you're ever in the area, I implore you to visit.
Yeah,
That-
yes, that's. I
Is that
think
the right
that's the
word?
word you're searching for. Yes,
Trying to use new words.
you're expanding your vocabulary. I'm proud of you.
Yes. Yes.
Super
And
proud of you.
amidst all of that, we had a great beach day. We had a great time at the casino where you were the only one who won money. I
Yes, sir.
lost. Fazio lost. Not a bunch. CJ didn't
Oh,
gamble.
yeah.
We had a good time. But there was one thing that bothered everybody from Friday. And what was that?
Oh, yeah. No, Friday. You wouldn't take us to go get barbecue at Big John's. You thought it
Okay.
was a joke.
Well, I thought it was a joke because before we went to the beach, said let's go get something to eat. We're on a time crunch. We got to get out there. It's already noon, 1:00. What can we eat on the way? We pulled up all these things and we settled with the Wing House. Good views, good food. But before that, our friend John Fazio found a place called Big John's Barbecue. And at first, I didn't know it was a real place. I thought it was just a joke. Let's go eat at Big John's. Right? There's all these dick jokes involved all the time when we're all
I don't know
together.
what you're talking about.
And then the next thing he said is, it looks like it's at somebody's house on the map, because what we came to find out later, it was tucked away in a residential neighborhood area, right, just off the main road.
Yeah, it wasn't. There wasn't a ton of businesses right next to it, but
Yeah.
it was definitely not a house. It was
Yeah.
definitely. It was definitely a business.
Yeah. So
And
after
the
all of
parking lot
that,
was slammed full.
slam full Alabama barbecue. But
Alabama
after all of
barbecue.
that, I'm not a fan of barbecue, so I shot it down, not really thinking that anybody actually wanted to go there. I just thought it was a running joke. And 2 hours went by, 4 hours went by, 6 hours went by, and every other hour, you guys are still bringing up how I shafted you on Big John's. Pun intended.
1,000%. Yeah. All the puns. It was definitely, and even on draft day, we kept bringing it up. You even made a post on Facebook and didn't follow through, which was crazy. You said we were getting it, got me, Fazio, even Thorson got excited about it, and then no barbecue.
Even Ian, who's not in the league anymore, got excited. Who posted that?
Somebody, I want to say John got access to your computer.
My computer was open and the Facebook was open, but I didn't see him post it, and I didn't see the post until after the draft. So like 8 hours after it was posted, I'm like, what are these notifications? I didn't post about Big John's, and then it's just
Yeah, you
this
did.
post. Big John's is sponsoring the draft catering lunch today,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, we're catering with Big John's, and I got excited. Scott was going like, "Let's go," and fire. It was
That's why he left early, because he didn't get Big John's.
the minute it was done. But no, after on the way home, we had all discussed it. I think the night before, when you definitely told us we weren't getting it. We were like, we're going tomorrow. There, and John was like, yeah, definitely. So after the draft, and we all said goodbyes and whatever, that's where we went. We went to Big John's, and dude, you missed out. It was absolutely phenomenal.
That's
It was delicious. John ate his in like 8 minutes. Never seen somebody eat so fast, just shoveling this shit in.
I
It was
did
great.
love that John sent me a picture posing out in front. So did CJ. Did you get a picture in front of the famous
I
Big
didn't.
Johns?
No, I watched both of them do it. John did his on the way in. CJ did his on the way out. But no, I did not have any interest in doing that. I acted like I had been there before, like it wasn't my first rodeo. So
How
it
many
was
white
funny
people were
'cause
there when you pulled up?
a couple. There was a
Yeah.
couple, but at one point in time, we might have been the only ones that were in there. But I don't care. I will be the only one there every single time. It's that good. The ribs were I watched a dude have like a rib was literally like this big. Like I'm like, how that's huge. I'm like, I should have got the ribs. Like when we were waiting and dude, it was so busy. It was absolutely insane. We had to wait probably 15 minutes to get our food.
Hmm.
And it may be another 5 to order. Like we were there easily 20 minutes waiting for the food and stuff like that. So and
It
it
was worth
was
it.
well worth it. Oh yeah.
That's
And
the
nobody
matter.
was eating in that place. One group. Everybody else, it was all going to go. And it was just full of people waiting to leave.
Full of people waiting to leave, but you guys ate it fresh.
No, dude, and the place was clean, like super clean. Like I cannot talk about it enough. Like it's catering the draft next year. Like you don't have a say. Like we've already looked at like what a package would cost and all that. It's totally affordable.
You already talked to Big John.
No, we just looked on his website, but and when we rolled up there was a dude outside selling bucket hats, and he saw John in his Yankee hat, and he's like, "Yankee man, check this out." And John was like, "It was legit, but it was not my style." I was like, "What? It was a bucket hat?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Bucket hats are in style. You should have bought it for John Boy."
Well, there you go. If you are ever in Tampa, St. Pete, visit Undertow, get you some drinks and fixes out on the beach, and then drive to just outside the Hard Rock, a little off the beaten path, to Big John's Alabama Barbecue. Nick gives it a
8.5 out of 10 all day.
8.5 out of 10. Clip this, send it. Big John,
I
be our sponsor. Hey, maybe Big John will be our sponsor now after that.
Dude, maybe Big John. Yeah, if we can blow this up, get him some more customers, say the You Good podcast sent us.
There you go.
They're gonna get an influx of certain clientele.
If you go to Big John's Barbecue, use the code YouGood for no discount, but
No discount.
it will help us know that we sent you.
We're trying to get sponsors. We're just gonna hit them up, be like, dude, the You Good podcast talks about you all the time, and hopefully they sponsor our draft.
Yeah,
dude.
Well,
like a slab of ribs, a pound of pork, a pound of brisket, a whole chicken, like 3 sides, and something else. It was like $150, $140. Yeah, whole chicken.
The whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, probably just splitting 2 if I had to guess. Just cut down, cut right in the middle.
So draft day is controlled chaos, and all of the fun before it was great, but the second I opened my eyes, I was already on edge. So many things to set up.
You were super stressed. I wasn't helping the situation.
Well, also Scott didn't help by needing to have a printout, but then Callie didn't help by telling me at 8:45 the morning of that she never printed it out and our printer wasn't working. So I made multiple runs, 1 to CVS. Turns out they didn't have a Photoshop. 2 to Walgreens, where I get there and they're like, in order for us to print this, you have to download the app and then send it to us in the app. And I'm like, I have the USB right here, or I can email it to you. Well, no, you need the app. So I download the app, and then somebody comes over and is like, oh, you don't need the app. You just go to the website. Livid. I walked out. I said, fuck this. I'll go do other things that I need to go to. Then I went to UPS, where they just told me, email us right here and we'll print it. So another sponsor, UPS. If you ever need anything printed, go down to UPS because they are easier than Walgreens or CVS.
and you had come back. That's the thing. You came back and then left again. You left to get it again, and like you were
No.
so pissed. And I don't think you would have left, but Scott was just relentless about it. Like, oh, you fucked me, and I'm just like, I deleted like so. You saw how I was doing on the computer, and
Mhm.
I think something happened to where I had to upload it, open it again, and everything was gone. So I'm just like,
Oh,
well, I guess I guess I really hope I can see if someone's been picked or not. And like,
yeah.
I started highlighting the people I wanted, and I'm looking at the board trying to see, and I'm like, oh man, I was like, what? Like going like round after round into some people that are in the middle row. I'm like, how are these guys not taken? And I'm like, they
Yeah.
have to be taken. Like, and then sure enough, like I finally see their name like 5 rounds before, and I'm like, I think I said one person that was drafted, so I was pretty proud of that. It was Sal Stevenson, I think.
I had Edward Cabrera. I missed his pick by like 10 rounds. And when we got to like the 300 or the third section, I was like, why is he still there? Why is everybody passing up on him? And it was just because I missed it. But it is, again, it's chaos having to, make sure the board is virtually there for everybody, and then make sure the board is live in person, and then make sure that you're selecting the people that have already been picked or crossing them off. So that way, you're not planning to have them. But I know this isn't a very deep or heavy episode, but I do want people to think about, not just fantasy baseball here, but think about a moment where you had limited time, too many options. You had to make the right decision under pressure, and that's what draft day is and was and will be. You know,
Straight up watched you panic.
yeah. But it's only because I want to make sure that everybody has a great time and everything goes smooth, so that way we can keep doing in person and live drafts. Because for me, I've always wanted to do a live draft in football, particularly. Right, that's the easier of the two to
Oh,
draft
for
much
sure.
quicker.
There's not 25 rounds.
Yeah. Oh, not 25 rounds, not 12 people. It doesn't take 6 hours plus to draft. But my fantasy football leagues have never lent me the privilege of doing that. It's always been group chat talk, that the trip never left the group chat. But
Right.
3 years ago, I think 4 years ago, I think we've had 3 drafts in 4 years, because one year we couldn't get it together. But this was our third annual draft, and we are on year 13 of the league. What was your favorite part of the transition to in-person drafts?
Uh, phew, just I guess the camaraderie, having everybody in the same room, everybody's like just like shooting the shit or making fun of people, just inside jokes, all that. Like I don't know, I've had the privilege of doing live football drafts back in college. We used to I was a part of a league that would rent out a bar during the day and would draft out of there and stuff.
Hmm.
So I I've always found it like a little bit better going up. It's definitely a little bit more difficult trying to keep track of it without like the help of Yahoo or people like, oh, you can't pick them because they're not there. And then having punishments is a whole nother aspect of it. We don't really drink anymore, so you had to pivot on what our punishments were for saying people, drafting people more than once.
Rookie mistakes. And what were those punishments?
Like, yeah, the hits of weed or dabs or shots if they were drinking, that sort of thing.
Take a shot if you say somebody that's already drafted. But I mean, you bring up a great point. It's the hybrid setup that kills us, because even though we are an in-person draft, we are not fully in person. And that adds a whole nother layer of and dynamic to it, where instead of being able to draft straight out of Yahoo, we have to draft through a third party, because Yahoo doesn't give us the pause and the time that we need to be succinct on that. And I still hope that one day, one glorious day, all of the stars align and we get all 12 people in, because one of the other things that comes with the pressure of being hybrid is being on time and being quick, because the people that aren't there are either at home sitting there by themselves for hours, or they've double booked themselves. They have kids, they have wives, they have families. So life is still going while they're drafting from a plane or drafting from the grocery store.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, even though we're trying to enjoy ourselves here, we also don't want to, make these other five guys sit here and wait all day for us. And it's just a lot. There's minimal breaks. Sitting, our backs, our asses were starting to hurt. Whether
Yeah,
you're
we didn't
in
take any breaks. I mean, we
no,
powered through. I don't think we asked for any time. I mean, there a few of us, a few times had extra time, but for the most part, it was
yeah, your only break is after you
when
draft,
you're
you
not
get to
picking.
take
Yeah.
10, 12 minutes, but then
Yeah,
you
but then
miss
that's
everybody those picks.
dangerous. Yeah,
Yep.
I was gonna say that's dangerous because then it's more like 20 before you
Mm.
pick again, especially like if you're not right smack dab in the middle. If you're on the
Yep.
ends, you got 20 minutes in between picks, and it kind of is like, oh, I can go do things, but the minute you get back, you're like, who just went?
Yeah.
You got 12 picks you gotta manage through, and like earlier, like I was trying to figure out if the earlier rounds we need more time or if it's like the middle rounds. And as we were going, it was definitely the middle rounds where you're looking, top 300. You're like, I'm gonna take a stretch or some flyers on some guys, and it it's definitely longer than any like online draft for sure. And but I
Mhm.
don't know like how much longer, because I remember the online drafts being just as long. I mean, you got to think at a certain point we have the same amount of time. We this was the first year that I think the site we were using actually had the timer, so we weren't having to do it ourselves.
Manually. Yep.
But normally, you only have a minute and a half, a minute. So at best it's 12 minutes around, but if you're doing a minute and a half, you're looking at 18 minutes, and now each round is 18 minutes long and there's 25 minutes. So
Yeah.
or there's 25 of them. So that's a long time. At best it's 4 hours, and that's powering through, where
I
everybody
ju
picks, everybody knows.
I just don't even remember. You're right, because I don't remember how long the last online draft was. I thought I wanted to say like 2.5 hours, but it could be 4 hours. It could be
No, it
4.
would have to be just like pure logistics. I mean, even if you took a minute a piece for 25 rounds, it's
Yeah.
12 minutes times 25. I mean,
Yeah.
that's well over 2 hours, like
And I think the difference too is people can make time for that because we usually do it at like 7 o'clock at night, whereas this started at 10 a.m. on a Saturday.
I mean, it doesn't matter if we do it on a Saturday, a Sunday. The people that aren't here always have some excuse as to
Always have
why
those.
they're
Yes.
not in front of a computer. Or, I mean, Craig was literally out by a pool. I mean, Craig had sunscreen on and a hat, like it was just one of those sun hats, and you're just like, man, all right. If I'm gonna do it, that's how I'm gonna do it. But then he's like, at a certain point, they all left, so now we're auto drafting for these people. Like at a certain point, there was nobody that was drafting for a Badger. Badger was the only one that I believe was still on the app that we didn't have to pick for. I
Craig
think
too.
everyone, Craig
Craig too.
and Chusith, I think at a certain point we were picking for him too, though. I think it was.
I know we were picking for Cheese. We were picking for Dylan at one point.
Yeah, and Cheese pisses me off, and that was the whole thing. We picked and chose how we were giving people, and so like it's like, oh, I'm finally taking a reliever, and then you give them to Cheese right before me, and I'm like, we didn't do that before. You gave him like the third best second baseman, so it's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's either best available or not. So then I was adamant at that point, like there was no not going to the best available
It
pitcher.
definitely makes things a little harder because at some point you're like, well, I'm about to give this guy 10 relief pitchers because they're best available.
Well, I'm
and we're
okay with
trying to look out for the best
alternating.
interests of them.
Well, yeah, and I get that. So we alternate, pitchers and batters, but then it's like,
Right.
okay, just went with the third best batter, and now you're going to give him the pitcher that I'm like, no, I'm going to take literally with my next pick, who's right after the guy who's hasn't been here 15 rounds. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so now we're doing the best available. Okay, that's cool. So
Do you know
now
at
I'm
what
stuck
point
with
in
the
the draft?
Giants reliever.
Do you know at what point in the draft you felt yourself starting to like just mentally slip a little? Because I know for me, right at the beginning, we're all
Yeah.
amped up the first few rounds. And then for me, it was like round 7 where I'm like, all right, so many things going on. Who do I draft? What do I do? And man, we've already been here for like an hour and a half and we still have 19 rounds to go. What's that like for you?
I think by round 5, when I had taken my third shortstop, I think I wasn't. I knew what I was doing, and I know what I've done. I mean, my 3 shortstops are arguably probably the best in baseball. I'm willing to move some, and that was the whole point. Like, especially with like Turner. Turner there when I got him, I'm like, I kind of have to take him. I don't want to,
Yeah.
but I don't need another shortstop. But to let this dude slip any further is just not good. And then, like I said, now it might pan out. I might get the guy I want. So
Yep. No, listen, panic picks, misclick potential, it's all very real when that clock is winding down. And when you're, under the pressure with limited time for you, are you actually making decisions or are you just trying to not make a mistake?
I'm making the decisions. The mistakes are gonna happen. Like some might say taking 3 shortstops in 5 rounds is a mistake. I knew what I was doing, so it was like, I mean, it might be a mistake, we'll find out, But no, I'm definitely not scared of making a mistake or picking the wrong person. There's so many players that at a certain point, like, I knew I was drafting hurt people just to put them on the bench to go after like the bat I really wanted. Like, I wanted Ryan Hearn. I didn't tell anybody I wanted Ryan Hearn, but by like round 20, I was like, I can get Ryan Hearn on the waiver wire for
Sure.
nothing, and nobody's even thinking about Ryan Hearn right now. Why would they? 32-year-old dude that's finally getting to play. But he's raking, and he just he filled the void I had at first base and outfield. So I was like, he's a perfect fit for what I was doing. But I figured out in round 20, I was like, I don't need to draft this dude. I can draft people that are going to go right on NL or IL or NA, and then pick him up on the waivers. And that's exactly what I did.
Just like good old
So-
Austin Wells, still out there on the waivers.
Yeah, if you want him, he's there. And then, I mean, honestly, Royce Lewis, I don't know who got Royce Lewis. I'm still pissed because my waiver didn't go through for him.
You tried to use a waiver on that?
Yeah, I need a backup. I only have 1 third baseman. I mean, and then Polanco, but I mean, I'm not sold on Polanco yet. But I mean, he's batting 4th in that Mets offense, so it's kind of after Soto. So I'm like, maybe.
Soto sucks. But that's just the draft. The real grind starts today. Oh, well, what's today? Today's Monday. So the real grind starts this week. We are starting in week 2, but thankfully there was only like 4 games we've missed because the season started a little bit earlier than usual. But the thing about this is long-term consistency. Showing up every day. Hey, kind of just like our podcast, showing up every week, even when nothing feels urgent or chaotic or everything feels urgent and chaotic. But with baseball, fantasy baseball in particular, it's showing up every day, multiple times a day. Having to check if there's a game before noon, and then the early games, the middle games, the late games, which go, start at 10 p.m. our time, East Coast. And then you have to worry about the waiver wire. You have to worry about the future. We have an NA spot, which is for future players who haven't been called up yet. We have multiple IL spots for maybe somebody that was injured before the season started. Now, like you said, Maybe I draft a player and wait it out for 5 or 6 weeks before he comes back.
Mhm.
Talk to me about the mental grind of just the uncertainty, the layers of strategy, as well as being in a very, very competitive league. Because I will say that all 12 of these guys that are in this league know baseball in and out,
Mhm.
front and back, hands down.
And
And I mean, for anybody that thinks that I know sports, we have 3 or 4 or 5 guys in our league that know way more than I do. They can name every player. They make their own draft rankings. So, what's it like being in this league for you?
because of what I've done with like the cards and all that, like I know a bunch of these young guys. So like Murakami, I mean Montgomery, some of the guys I went after, but Dylan the last like 8 rounds was just going after all these young guys. Like, and I'm like, they're unproven, but I mean, if they go off, they should be great. And I don't know, like the biggest thing with me in this league, it's like if I don't have if I'm not up on my game, the guy I want has already been on somebody's bench for 3 weeks.
Weeks.
It it's so this year I made it a point to like go after the people that I'm pretty high on. And like I said, like even Ryan Hearn, like most people wouldn't be, but dude, he's either gonna be good or he's not. Like that's where I'm at right now. With that, he's gonna play every day. He's finally gonna get chance to play every day. And if he's either going to succeed or he's not. And so far he's succeeded. So it's, a very small sample size, but it, it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah. And that's the balancing now versus the future because like you said, Dylan took a bunch of young guys that are unproven who could start the season on a tear and go into a slump. They could start the season on a slump and then all of a sudden find form around the All-Star break. But I mean, we're talking 8, 9, 10 weeks down the line, or you take a risk on a veteran like Hearn, who, historically has been okay. But now that he's getting playing time every day, maybe he takes off. And what's the leash for him, right? When does he start slumping? Can he take it all, the entire season? And most likely not. How long can you have value from that player? Because
Yeah.
baseball is so up and down in terms of value, even for the superstars.
I guess for me, my goal is a month from now, him to be good enough to move. I can trade him, package him in something that I could fill a void that I'm having in a month from now. Like you said, it's ever changing. So yeah, I mean, everybody's squad solid right now, but you're a fastball to the fist away from not having a shortstop. So
Yeah.
and I have 5. So it's one of those things like I'm hopeful for people needing to start trading. I had some trade talks with people needing a shortstop already. There was strategy to taking who I did and when I did it, and including my NA spot. Most people I was asking, around I think around 20, I'm like, what if the guy I want isn't on here? And everybody's like, who are you talking about? I'm like, I'm not saying anything
Can't.
until it's time. Yeah, because I was getting sniped left and right for the people I wanted, but I ended up he's the 9th ranked prospect in all of baseball, and he should be up by June. So I
Right.
couldn't get called. I couldn't get called. Was it Griffin? Connor Griffin?
Connor
His name?
Griffin.
Yeah, I wanted him, but Dylan I think already grabbed him. Like Dylan grabbed everyone.
You bring up 2 good points though too. I mean, it could be coming up to your turn. You could have 5 players loaded, ready to go, and you might be 10 picks away from your turn, and then all of a sudden it's your turn, and all of those guys are gone. And then the
Mhm.
1 or 2 or 3 maybe guys you were quick researching before your time, they're gone too. And now all of a sudden you've been sniped all the way through. You're panic picking, hopefully not making mistakes, but that's something else to consider is just even if you have a plan on draft day, that plan's going to go out the window probably
Oh,
about
immediately.
10 minutes into the draft.
It's immediately. Last year, I drafted 3rd, but 2 years in a row. Last year, nobody saw Witt going 1. It went Witt, Judge, and I had Ohtani fell into my lap. I was like, yeah, I thought I was going shortstop here. Yeah, I'm taking Ohtani. I pivoted. Everything was, all the mock drafts I did, everything was shot at that point. So
Yep.
this year I didn't do any mock drafts because I was like, there's no point. I'm not gonna get. And then I did one. I did one while we were waiting, and first like 7 picks I think were pretty close to spot on. So I was like, all
There
right.
you go.
So I kind of knew what I was getting into. Badger took Jazz a little early, so Jazz I should have been able to get Jazz, but it is what it is. Like, it's fine. I
With
really
everybody
wanted
being so
Jazz, but-
knowledgeable, you have to reach. You might have to pick somebody 2 or 3 rounds early, because I
Oh,
guarantee you.
I
I mean,
took
how many
Anthony.
times did we say, somebody would make a pick and everybody like, oh, God damn it. But then the next person after that person was like, that person was never making it to you because I was about to take him next.
Yeah, no, Roman Anthony. I took Roman Anthony going out knowing he wasn't going to come back. Like, I wasn't going to have a shot to get him. And I'm like,
Hmm.
and it was between, I had an opportunity to get Duran, but I was like, I'll go with Anthony. But,
What
I think Scott ended up having Duran and he wants Turner. So I
Wh-
really
what
wanted
part of the-
Duran.
what part of the season wears you down the most? Is it the daily upkeep, or is it just how long the season is? Because even at 22 weeks, like, our season is shortened. We shorten it to make sure that we are done before fantasy football starts. So that way we're
Mhm.
not playing for baseball championships during, the start of football season, but still 22 weeks is still a very long season.
I think the hardest part is around week like 15, when like you either know you might not have a shot at the playoffs, and it's after the trade deadline, so you can't really you can't get any value. You can't trade to try to make your team better. You're kind of just in this purgatory of mediocrity. Like, you're not gonna, like, I'm
Been there.
34 games out and I'm like, I can go on a run right now, but I need to win 8-4 every matchup, and that's not gonna happen. I it hasn't happened all year, and it's not gonna happen now. And I think those are the hardest parts, because you could easily just say F it and phone it in. Like, you easily, especially being like in the eighth or ninth, even if you're dead last 12 and you got no shot, I'm like, you easily could phone it in, but nobody in this league really does that. They all fight until the end. But
Most
we
of the
don't really have
time-
punishments either, which is
We don't-
surprising.
We don't have punishments, but most of the time, you're right. When we get to the end of the league, there's usually only 1, 2, maybe three teams that can't make it, but everybody else is still fighting for those playoff spots. And one thing that we haven't talked about is the mental weight behind trades in this league, because I mean, starting from the even while we were
just
drafting,
got
people
one.
were trying to make trades, but starting from the
I got one
second draft
before
complete
we
is up.
started.
Yep, the second that draft complete is up, people are already messaging us, texting us in our Facebook DMs, and it's a daily occurrence of, hey, Nick, let's trade. And what's that like, to have to talk to these people multiple times a day to maybe work out a trade or maybe not?
So the ones that bother me the most is when you get asked about a player and you're like, yeah, okay, this is who I want to give up or who I'm talking about. And then they're like, okay, cool. And then the offer comes and it's the people you discussed and then some more. And you're just like, whoa, like we didn't talk about the more, like
The three other people
obviously-
you added.
yeah, obviously it's like, okay, if it's lopsided, we somebody might need to give up some more, but 9 times out of 10, and you know exactly what I'm thinking about, like, they come at you with a deal, you're like, okay, yeah, we're close, and then slide in, your third best hitter, thinking you're not like, you have no problem moving on from him. You're like, what? No. Or
We didn't discuss
the
this
other
name at
good-
all.
or the other good one is I'm going to send you a trade that only benefits me, and then I'm going to tell you why you should pick it, because how it benefits both of us and can completely try to gaslight you into trading with them. And and to make it be like, oh yeah, it was your idea anyway. It's like, no. Or you say yes, and then like the whole deal still falls through. You're like,
They ghost you.
I said yes to what you wanted, and then they use that to go get somebody else. Or like some people are notorious for like, oh, I want to trade you this, this, and this, but then they're like, but I got to go get this and this first. And if that and that doesn't happen, then yours falls through. And it's like,
What are we
why are
talking
you even
for?
why? So the league knows I ghost everyone. I'll ghost everyone until it's serious. Like don't come at me with any bull crap. Like if it's not legit, I will just ignore you. Like the one I got before, I'll probably like respond politely, but like you're not getting wit for Scooble. Like that just isn't happening.
Let me ask you this then. For me personally, I like to talk and discuss a trade, just like you mentioned. I like to be like, hey, on your team, I like these people. Who do you like on my team? Because in that way, we have an understanding of like where to build this trade. What I don't like is when somebody just sends me a random trade out of nowhere. We haven't talked and they're just expecting me to accept it. And then when I reach out to them, like, hey, I'll talk trades with you, but like, what are you interested in? Don't hear a word from them. Then they just start sending you more trades. I don't like that structure. Do you rather prefer coming to an agreement? Because like you said, you could still come to agreement and people will back out to the point where I'm like, look, if you're serious about this trade, you send it. Because sometimes they're like, you send the trade and I'll look at it later. Like what the fuck do you need to look at? We just sat here and talked about it for 2 weeks.
Send it and I'll accept it. Yeah.
Yeah, send it or don't. And they're like, oh, you send it to me. All right, then we have no deal. When you're ready, you can look at it all you want because you know how to put the players into the trade evaluator the same way I do. When you're ready, you send it, and now it's a real deal. But what do you prefer? Do you prefer the foundational structure, or do you just like a quick and easy, hey, if somebody sends me and I like it, I'll accept it?
I like discussing it. I think it's the easiest way than going back and forth. The back and forth stuff I don't necessarily like, but for me it's like the trade needs to be beneficial for both parties. So if you've come at me like you need a shortstop, okay, I have shortstop. Perfect. I need a third baseman. You have one I really want. So it's like, so how can we make this deal happen? It's like, well, I like this and this, and it's like, okay, well, I like this and this. Will that do it? And it's either yes or no. And part of me wishes we had draft picks for that reason, because like that can just sweeten that pot just a little bit more to like trade a 4 and a 5 or a 4 and a 7. But I can now get, your number 3 draft pick this year, but I got him for a 7 and a 9 next year, on top of, on top of a player, but we swap 7 and 9 next year. And that part of it I think would benefit the league, but most people in our fantasy football league don't think trading picks is fun at all.
Fantasy baseball.
Well, yeah, but because they're in our fantasy football league, which allows it,
yes,
the fantasy. Yeah, I'm here. I'm with you. I know exactly. But my whole thing was like the people that are in our fantasy football and see what we do with that ability don't like. I don't blame them. But I also think at a certain point we need to look at either a dynasty, like dynasty leagues, or something like that makes sense for a dynasty league for this group in baseball. 1,000% makes sense. Even if it's not a complete dynasty where it's more of a keeper league, but we're constantly like, it would make our drafts go a lot quicker. We wouldn't be drafting 22 rounds. We'd be drafting rookies as they come in. So our draft days would be super short and we could have fun. Instead of just being a whole draft thing where we have to spend 6 hours drafting, we spend 2 hours drafting and then we go do, we go to the beach, or, we go do whatever. We're in Tampa. We go to Busch Gardens, as a group. Yeah. It's just
I do miss draft picks. Hey, don't thought me anymore. I'm not a commissioner.
Oh, no. I'm not. I don't fault you.
That the Dugas. No, thought me.
I'll throw that out to Dugas, but I know that the league doesn't like that kind of stuff. And for me, I'm like, it makes sense though. Like, no, especially if we police it in a way to where no team can, you know, build a. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they can or not. I mean, build a generational talent. That's if you're able to. Why would any? You can't fault that.
Well,
They're better than us.
we've seen it. We've seen people go the entire season in first place or in second place and dominate and lose in the first round, because just as unpredictable as fantasy football is, fantasy baseball in the
Oh,
playoffs
yeah.
is even more unpredictable. And I mean, winning a title is not even about making the best moves or having the best team, but it's really about making the fewest mistakes down the run, especially when you get into the
Early.
playoffs. Yeah,
Well, it's super
early too.
early too. It's like dropping people before you should. Like,
Right.
who dropped? Somebody dropped Royce Lewis, and it might be early, but who knows? Dude's on a tear right now. Like, why would you drop that dude?
Yeah.
Why? And I think I know why. I think we gave him Royce Lewis, so I
Probably.
kind of understand dropping him for somebody you wanted, but at the same time, I'm also like, dude's a top 40 player when
we
we drafted him. Right.
Yeah.
At least see where it goes. The guy isn't that bad, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. A lot of these picks like that kind of like why did you drop him? You know, but whatever.
So let's
Not my problem.
let's talk about decisions then. Trusting your instinct, reaching when you believe in something, living with the outcome of either grabbing somebody here, missing them, and having to pivot later. But all of everything that we've talked about starts with how we've built our team. So, let's talk about that. Let's talk about our teams, our mistakes. Uh, for me, Munetaka Murakami was a guy that I absolutely wanted, a generational talent for the Chicago White Sox.
You're just gonna just keep going, huh?
But in all seriousness, I had so many. Well, not so many. I had about 5 people that I was really hoping and targeting, and they kept getting picked every time it came back to me, to where Murakami was like my last one left, and I think he was ranked in the mid 200s, but I took him at about 150 because I had to take him a few rounds early, because I knew that if it wasn't now,
you took him a bunch of rounds early, and I was so mad.
I took him in the 13th.
Yeah,
he probably would have been gone before the 18th.
Yeah, but I would have definitely taken him. I needed a third baseman, but like early on, I was like, okay, this is who I'm gonna go after. Like, I had him circled so early because of where I was, and knowing third base was so short with how many people. Like, there's a big drop off after a certain amount, and I missed that tier. So I was like, all right, well, if this person does well, it's going to be one of the best sleepers. I mean, I personally think he's going to do well, but if all he's doing right now is hitting home runs, it's kind of worrisome.
Whoa. Let the man acclimate to the American baseball.
I mean, yeah, that's the worrisome part, right? Like, he's going to strike out a bunch and then and then just have strike out a bunch and then not and hit home runs, right? So, but he's not going to hit 70. He's going to hit.
I'm going all power, baby. I'm going all power this year.
Yeah,
Riley
took Scott's MO, huh?
Riley Reed's Long Dinglers is my team name from Austin Riley and Dylan Dingler. But then there was also a fun little joke at the draft about somebody drafting a Reed, and somebody was like, Riley Reed, and I was like, no, it's not Riley Reed. Do you remember who the player was?
No, I honestly thought it was Austin, but you have him, so
yeah, it wasn't me.
Sure,
it was either Dugas or
oh no, it was Ethan. I know who said it. I just don't remember who it was. Yeah, I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you because I had already drafted Austin Riley. Anyways, Riley Reed's long dinglers, and I went very home run heavy with Matt Olson, Jose Ramirez, Cody Bellinger, Mike Trout, Austin Riley, Munetaka Murakami, Jake Berger. Baby, my team can crush, but because I'm me, I know
was
that
Riley
my
Green.
team. Riley Green.
It was Riley Green.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
he was going to say Riley Green, and it was Riley Reed.
And he said Riley Reed instead. So that's where Riley Reed's long dinglers come from. But because I'm me, I know exactly what's going to happen is in the first 5 weeks, all of my players are going to do absolute dog shit. And then I'm going to trade my entire team to everybody else's team for players that are doing well. And then the players that have been incoming are going to do absolute dog shit. And the players that I traded are going to be top 10.
Yep. That's
It
exactly
happens every
normally
single
what happens.
year.
Yeah. And the people that don't do that normally do well and make the playoffs or even go on to win championships. Yeah, dude, Scott is an excellent, I don't want to call him manipulator, but he knows exactly how to get you to trade with him or like
annoy the shit out of you.
Well, maybe
it's not manipulation, it's harassment until you finally give in and say, all right, whatever. Get off my bat. Leave me alone. So many people do it because I talk to Scott, as do you, every day about trades. And like, I put my foot down. I'm like, no, Scott, I'm either not trading this person or I need this person for the deal. Whereas other people will just be like, I wanted him to stop messaging me. So I traded him. And now Scott's getting a much better player for a much lesser player. And everybody's just like, how does this guy, oh, you did it with Scott again? And it really grinds my gears, but he is very persistent.
Yeah. Is that how it happens? He's just persistent, and that's just why people trade with him. Jesus.
All hours of the day.
I didn't know it was that easy. I'm gonna write it. I'll make a program or something to just message the group trades all day. We random trades all day.
We have a couple of the guys have this thing where does Scott listen to this show? I don't know.
I don't know.
So we have this thing where you leave Scott on red and you see how long he can go until he stops responding. But the problem is he will start talking to himself if you don't respond, where he'll say one thing about one player, another thing about another player, then he'll like completely change in conversation talking to himself, and you're just like, what is this guy doing? And we'll send screenshots to each other. It's been 5 days since I responded to Scott, and it'll be like this long, and we'll see how long we can leave him on red. And there's just 2 or 3 of us that are on that similar circle, and it becomes just Scott therapy on the side. Like, I had to take a Scott reset. Oh, if you are listening to this, Scott, I love you so much.
Well, yeah, no, it's a lie. I mean, it really is. It's almost too much sometimes. And I personally, I'm like, I just tell him point blank, I'm not trading you. Like, or like, I'm not trading that person. And then he'll either accept it or again, he'll have a whole, 30 texts to himself on why you should trade, make this trade. And like I said, try to almost gaslight into making the trade. So
a bunch of gaslighters. Is there, if you could go back and redo one pick right now, do you have anybody who it would be? Did you have anything that you missed out on? Anything that you were hopeful for that you didn't get?
Apparently taking Murakami at one, in the 140s apparently was a necessity if I wanted to have him.
Listen, if I look at it here, I took Murakami, and in between Murakami, there's nobody really worth saying except for maybe Shane McClanahan, maybe Blake Snell, maybe Robbie Ray.
What you took him in the 13th, right?
Yeah. But then it comes back around to you, and you took Colson Montgomery in the 14th. So would you have taken
Yes.
Murakami at 14 if I didn't take
I
him?
don't know if I don't know if I would take. I was definitely taking a third baseman there because I took Walker and I needed
Okay.
a first at that point because I just I got Burleson, but I was like, oh, Burleson's gonna play outfield for me. I need, and then I have Perez who can play first, but I was like, I need a real everyday, or so I
But
picked
here's the thing.
Walker.
When Cheese came around in the 15th, he needed a third baseman, and the best available third baseman that we gave to him was Paredes. So I think that you take me if I don't take Murakami there, I think you take him. If you need a third baseman, I think you take him right there for Montgomery.
Yeah, more than likely. So we're gonna end up swapping Montgomery for Murakami, and it's gonna be fine. But you know, it's
I
fine.
wish I took Garrett Cole a little, or well, not a little earlier, but I wish I took Garrett Cole. I really wanted him. I really needed pitching, and instead of Cole, I went Bednar. So I went Yankees closer instead of Yankees starter, thinking that I could maybe loop back around since he is injured, but he went to another Yankee fan, choose it in that same round. So that's
Uh-huh.
it's a late pick. It was round 15, but that was probably one I'd take back. But other than that, I liked my draft.
I think I take back the, if anything, the Trey Turner at 5. I don't know who else was probably there, but I feel like I probably could have taken someone else at 5 and still got Trey probably at 70 with the
I,
way everybody was picking.
I think
It's
Trey
tough.
at some point I was going to take Trey, and I wouldn't see him probably go farther than 8. I mean, you could have picked other people right before in those few rounds, and those are very crucial rounds, like we talked about. I think round 4 to like round 10 are very crucial, and I could see Trey falling to like round 8, but at some point I was going to take him, and Scott was definitely going to take him if he was still there.
Scott was definitely taking him, but I'm trying to think like who in 5, like there's Duran, like, but th- I already took Rome in the round before, so
And
that
who
wasn't
knows,
the
because in that same round, CJ Abrams and Bo Bichette went back to back. The next round, Corey Seager was off the board. So there's so many things, but I took Jeremy Pena in the 7th. So if Trey Turner was still there or Corey Seager in the 7th, I
Mhm.
was going to grab one of them.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah. Last question. Looking at your draft, what was the pick that you felt the best that you made?
Man, it's a good question.
Thank you.
I really like, I don't know, I think the I mean, Turner at 5, he was in a free fall, but, probably Alec Burleson at 11.
Mhm.
I think he's gonna have a year in St. Louis.
Another kid that's finally going to get everyday playing time. They
Yeah.
lost some guys in St. Louis, and I'm very high on him too. For me, it was Brendan Donovan. I really
Mm,
wanted Brendan Donovan because he is not only one of the strongest second basemen, but he's consistently a top producer. And he was kind of falling, and he was falling, and he was falling. I was like, I'm gonna pull the trigger now. And I was very happy taking him in the 11th, taking Brendan Donovan in the 11th, where I think he was the number 1 or 2 second base shortstop last year with like Perdomo, maybe.
yeah. Yeah, no, I wanted Donovan as well, but I already had enough.
Yeah. Taking Mike Trout in the 10th could go either way, but I don't think he could have got better than that than him dropping all the way to the 10th. I don't know how much farther he would have dropped, but Mike Trout in the 10th
No.
is always fun too. I
Yeah.
lied.
I mean, is
Not last question. Would you rather have a safe team or a risky team with higher upside?
I think based off my drafts, I try to go safe, but there is some upside. Like I think, like Burleson, I think a lot of people are sleeping on. I think Montgomery. is another one that should break out this year. But also on my bench, I got Mickey Monick, who was fucking the Rockies' best outfielder.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's just hurt. So I mean, I don't know. I'm hopeful, that these kids that I picked do actually what I hope they will. I mean, Bubble Chandler is gonna be this first year starting, so could
A
go
lot of
either
mix-ups.
fucking could go either way.
It's gonna be a very interesting season, but again, I like the upside and the risk. I consistently take younger guys. I am way too impatient with players, and I hate waiting 7 weeks for this guy to finally take the turn, and all of a sudden, yeah, he's the best player in baseball, but, those 7 weeks were grueling to sit there and watch him go offers or whatever, and, some of these younger guys, they are sparks, but they fade, especially in the long season, especially after the All-Star break, that changes things drastically every year, but I'm excited for how my team came out. I'm excited for the upside. I'm excited for baseball, which is already starting right now. Yankees 4-0. They play tonight at Seattle. Give me your last take, last word, last, notion out there for fantasy baseball, whether it's the form of it, the mental capacity, or just the grand enjoyment of our 13-year league.
I think I've continued my streak of not drafting a Yankee. I want that to be known. I still struggle with bringing on Yankees. Almost thankful that Aaron Judge got picked because I really don't know what the hell I would have done at 3 if he was there. I probably would have had to take him, but I probably would have traded him. And that's part of the mental, right? Like I can't get over my hatred for this team enough to win fantasy baseball or try to win. Not saying the Yankees are the only, skin in the game, but you kind of alienate yourself when you don't want, Jazz Chisholm because he plays in pinstripes. I mean, that's probably not a smart idea.
I still
I
avoid Mookie Betts just because he's was a Red Sox.
right, and I always end up with him, so I just made it easy on everyone this year and just drafted him. And shoot, I mean, I might end up not having because looking at the board from last year, I didn't even know I took half those people. I was like, I took Baum, like, or I'm like, when did I had these people? Like,
Oh.
no idea. But the mental side of this for 20, a lot of fun. If the group of people we do it with weren't, I don't think if they weren't this group of people, I don't think it would be as fun. I don't think we would be doing it for this long. This is the first year where I mean that I've been a part of where we've had to lose somebody to bring someone on as far as in the baseball side. I think I was an add-on at one point early on.
We had one
But
great reset. One great
yeah.
reset one year, but other than that, we rarely lose people. I think we've had to do 2 changes in maybe 6 years.
Yeah, and I mean I think Cam was the one and then now Ian
No, when
which
we had the Cam split, we lost a few people.
okay.
They either got removed from the league or, it was a whole part of that, but, Ian replaced somebody too, I believe. I
Probably
forgot who
Cam.
now.
It's probably Cam.
Uh,
'Cause I mean,
Michael.
I
It
okay,
was
I can't
Michael.
remember,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know if I was part of this since inception, but I know I've been pretty early on, an early on adapter to it. So, but like you said, I think the draft is cool because we get to see all these people we don't normally get to see, but once a year when they show up for that, the guys that do come carve out the time, even though Scott, leaves right away or complains about doing the board that he volunteered to do. But I love every one of them and appreciate them
Yeah.
so much because without them, the league, like I said, I think the league would be shit without the people that are in it. So,
And everybody is so active.
including the new addition, CJ. I mean,
CJ. Yeah.
it was fun having him and everyone getting to know him over the weekend too. So
Be a part of that chaos. Absolutely.
yeah, fuck, the chaos was an understatement. Draft's always chaos.
Well, go Yankees. Go Riley Reed's
No,
long
no,
dinglers. And
no, stop that. Like, no. I
we
do
we
hope. Honestly, I mean, fuck the Yankees until the day I die. However, I so want Red Sox Yankees to actually be viable. It's been too long where we haven't been able to beat each other up in October. So
it's better for
I want
baseball.
to. I want that so bad. I hope we don't get broken. I mean, I think that's our biggest problem. Like if we get hurt, we're screwed. We don't have the depth a lot of teams have. So if our pitching is garbage or we lose a shortstop or our center fielder, we're pretty much screwed.
Yep. It's better for baseball, just like when Ravens Steelers are good, and that's a good rivalry. It's better for football when the Yankees and Red Sox are both at the top
Could
of
you
their
imagine
division.
Yankees Red Sox going into whoever's playing LA? I think that's probably a more exciting series than whoever ends up playing LA.
Yankees
Let's
will
be
lose to the
real.
Dodgers anyways. So
LA, whoever comes out of the East is going to lose to LA, or should, right? Like on paper, LA should walk through everyone. They should have the best record in baseball ever. They have the highest payroll you've ever seen. So
it's disgusting.
In theory, they should be there versus someone from the East, right? Like, and for me, I much rather see the Yankees play the Red Sox in that series than the Yankees play Detroit or or the Twins.
Yep, exactly.
It
Well,
just doesn't.
if you're a baseball fan or you play fantasy baseball, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to, comment below on who your teams are or what your picks are for this year, who your busts were, or who your reaches were. We're always open to talking about baseball, always open to talking about sports. This, while it was, an unplanned episode, I think it was a real one. I think it shows how things actually go in life, not even just recording this podcast, but things break, things don't work, you adjust, you move forward, you overcome adversity, and just like the season we're about to start, you prepare and you move forward. So if any part of today's sporadic episode hit home, share it with a friend, tag us at CrodsPod on Instagram, follow us on TikTok at CrodsPod. Help us keep these conversations going, even if they are, pun intended, right out of left field. We drop new episodes every Thursday. If you have a story, a topic, or you just need a vent, email us at crodspod@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. And, as always, our safe space is your outlet, but I can't say enough. Last episode, we told people, hey, we want to hear from you. We want you to be guests on our episode. And we've had, some people reach out and we're starting to book again for July and forward. So truly, if you have any interest of being on with us, sharing a story, reach out.
Especially
we are
if
here.
we don't know you.
Absolutely.
If we don't know you, especially like that would.
Especially,
I really would like to do that. That would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So until next time, live fast, eat ass, or don't panic with 10 seconds left.